I've been going to the gym for almost 3 years now, and I've certainly learnt some valuable lessons during this period. If I was somehow able to go back in time to when I was first starting out, and these would be the 10 key points that I would go back and tell myself. Number 1, ego lifting. This one hit me hard, and quite literally. This is probably one of the most common mistakes that people make when they first start out. And for sure, this is the worst one to make on this entire list. Lifting weights that are too heavy for you are stagnating your progress, and worse yet, setting you further back. Please keep this in mind. Your main purpose of going to the gym is to improve on yourself, not to worry about what other people are thinking about you. By lifting weights that are too heavy for you, your form will suffer, and the chances are you won't even be hitting the intended muscle group. You won't be making any progress because of this, and substantially increase the chance of you getting injured. If you are someone that does really care about what other people think about you in the gym, and not that you should by any means, then I can guarantee you'll be respected more by going lighter on the weights and getting your form right. So leave the ego at the door, drop the weights, and focus on prioritizing correct form over anything else right at the beginning. I can guarantee you that you'll progress so much quicker this way rather than lifting or trying to lift as heavy as you can. Number 2, not experimenting enough. In the beginning, I would stick to a very rigid workout routine, doing the exact same exercises every single workout. And whilst you can definitely build muscle with limited variety, you are closing the door to other exercises that you may actually find more effective than the same 3 movements that you would be doing. For example, when I first started, my bicep routine consisted of the same 3 exercises every single time, and that being incline curls on a bench, concentration curls, and hammer curls. And this was because I watched the YouTube video. I believe at the time it was most likely an Athlete Next one, saying that these were the only 3 exercises that you needed to do to build your biceps. And whilst these are good exercises, by having such a closed mind of not doing anything else, I believe that I was stunting my growth. Switching up your routine will allow you to find exercises that may actually work better for you. This will not only help you enjoy your workouts more, but it will also help you to build muscle quicker. Number 3, not stopping when you are feeling some sort of pain. If you are feeling any sort of discomfort that just doesn't seem right, then you should immediately stop that exercise. Yes, by finishing your set, you may improve by the slightest of percentages, but you are drastically increasing the chances of injuring yourself, which could potentially keep you out of the gym for a very long time. And this is not to say that you can stay completely injury-free whilst working out, but at the end of the day, we are all human, and these sort of things will happen eventually. And if you're that lucky person that's never got injured, then you're clearly doing something right, and yeah, keep going. But for the majority of us, injuries, they do happen. All pro bodybuilders pretty much have some sort of injuries here and there. It's just part of the process. Believe me, the last thing that I want to do when I'm halfway through a workout is to stop. But seriously, consider the long term, because if you were to injure a ligament or a tendon, for example, then I can guarantee you will regret not listening to what your body was trying to tell you. And if this means that you need to take a couple of days off, then by all means do it, you know. Take a few rest days, do some cardio instead. Not every single day has to be a very intense workout. Number 4, doing too many sets. Sometimes less is more. I used to do 4 sets for pretty much every single exercise that I used to do, which, yeah, looking back on it now, was just way too much volume. Not only did I spend far too long in the gym for pretty much every workout that I did, it was a lot of time that was just being wasted. Cutting down on the amount of sets that you do allow you to really focus and hone in on getting quality, high intensity sets in, allowing you to make sure that you are really pushing each set as hard as you can and eliminating any of that junk volume that you may be doing instead. Believe me, there's no need, for example, for a chest workout to be doing any more than 10 sets. I personally do 8, maybe 9 sometimes now, in comparison to the 12 to even 16 sets sometimes I used to do. If you are really pushing yourself on each set, then you'll quickly come to notice that all of those extra sets that you were doing, they just simply were not necessary. Number 5, and this is stopping at a rep limit. This is probably one of the dumbest things that I used to do. I always used to limit my sets to about 12 reps because I would see all these YouTube videos and whatnot saying you should stay within this 8 to 12 rep range. And because of this, so often I'd be leaving plenty of reps in the tank, and as a result, not pushing my sets anywhere near close to failure. Don't get me wrong, an 8 to 12 rep range is a very good estimate for what you should be aiming for I'd say the majority of exercises. But if you are stopping your sets purely because you've reached that 12 rep limit, then this is the wrong approach. Either you increase the reps that you do for that set so that you actually reach failure, because for some exercises, there's honestly nothing wrong with even going up to 20, maybe even 25 reps, or quite simply, you just increase the weight. Ever since I focused on pushing each set to a complete failure rather than focusing on a certain rep range, then since then, I've just noticed so much better gains. Number 6, and this is not warming up, and particularly I would say this is most important for chest days. I don't believe that you should ever go into any workout without some sort of warm up, and whether that just being doing a couple of lighter sets or going back to that chest example, doing some rotator cuff work. If you're someone who, for example, has slightly dodgy shoulders and you feel like your shoulders might be a limiting factor to some of your workouts, then rotator cuff work is most likely what you need to do. Just search up some rotator cuff exercise on YouTube. There's plenty of different examples out there. You know, you can use bands, D handles, dumbbells even. Yeah, just get those exercises in before your chest days and your shoulders will start to thank you. But yeah, not only will your muscles feel better going into your actual working sets, but so will your tendons and your ligaments, which you definitely can't neglect. Because if you think about it, any movement, you're not only using your muscles, your ligaments and your tendons are also working in tandem with your muscles in order to be able to do the certain movements that you want to do. Number 7, putting the same effort into your nutrition as you do with your training. The sole reason why I didn't put this at number 1 is because I don't think this needs as much attention right at the beginning of your lifting journey. However, down the line, this definitely needs to be something that you try to prioritize just a lot more. First of all, you need to be getting enough protein in, and typically the suggested amounts are 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. And yeah, for us guys in the UK, 1 pound, I believe, is, no, 1 kilogram is 2.2 pounds. And this is because protein is the main nutrient responsible for muscle growth. You can lift all you want, pushing yourself as hard as you can in every single exercise that you do in the gym. However, if you're not getting the right amount of protein in, you are simply stunting your growth. You can't expect for your muscles to grow back stronger, because when you're in the gym and you're getting those exercises, what you're actually doing is creating small muscle tears. And so for those to come back, rebuild stronger, which is the main thing, you need those proteins in for that process to occur. Secondly, calories. Calories are simply the measure of unit for the amount of energy that you get from your food and from your even drinks. The same way how degrees or Fahrenheit will measure temperature. Your calories are by far the most important thing when it comes to trying to alter or change your body weight. So when I first started lifting, I always knew that my goal initially was to try and get bigger and stronger. However, I wasn't so informed that in order to do that, you have to be in a calorie surplus. As a result, yes, I did get those newbie gains that everyone experiences in the beginning. But what will inevitably happen, and what happened to me, after a few months after that, you'll plateau very quickly and stop seeing the same amount of progress that you could be getting. And for me, this probably went on for about a year, which, looking back on now, that was a lot of time that I'm not going to say it was wasted, because I was still getting lifts in, I was still, getting that gym experience in, but it was definitely a lot of time where I know could have been far more optimal, and it would have allowed me to be at a better point as to where I am at the moment. Once it clicked for me that in order for me to get bigger, I'd have to start eating in a calorie surplus, that was when I initially broke through that plateau and once again started to see more results. The same way if you're trying to lose weight, you simply just have to be in a calorie deficit. And with this calorie deficit and losing body weight in general, there is a very common misconception that you can't eat all of your favorite foods. However, this is just simply not true. You can still snack on your favorite crisps, chocolates, whatever other snacks, as long as you still stay in that calorie deficit. And I saw a video recently where there was this experiment done on this one guy who was looking to lose weight, and he ate purely McDonald's for the entire month. And so a lot of people out there, you'd think, how would that be possible? But at the end of it, he did manage to lose weight. I can't remember the exact amount, but he did lose weight. And that was purely because he stayed in that deficit. And it shows that, yeah, you can still eat Domino's, whatever you want to eat, but just keep yourself in that deficit and you'll start to see that you'll be losing weight. So with this in mind, if I had started to track my calories properly far earlier, then like I say, I would have made far more progress in that time period after those newbie gains compared to when I first started tracking my calories. Number 8, thinking that everybody is right. And this one specifically ties into the content that you'll see on social media. And yes, it's a bit ironic for me to be telling you this whilst I'm quite literally making a video on YouTube, but I am talking more specifically about short form content on your Instagram Reels, your TikToks and YouTube Shorts, all that type of stuff. You'll so often see all of these videos about these being the perfect exercises for you to do, and these are the exercises that you should avoid. And these can make you question your training. Whilst there are some informative videos out there, and I'd be lying if I was to say that I've not started to implement some of those exercises that I have seen on these videos into my current routine now, you need to drill this into your mind. What may work for someone else may not work for you. There are millions of people out there that have built muscle and got to their ideal physiques and whatnot in all their different and unique ways. So if you're not copying that, I don't know, that Athlean-X chest workout routine to a T, and don't worry, you can still build muscle by not doing some of those exercises that you may not enjoy doing, or they may just feel a little bit uncomfortable for you. There are plenty of different exercises out there that you can do and you'll still build muscle. The key thing with this is to be just pushing your sets hard. You can make great gains with a bro split, a push-pull leg split, even with a full body split, as strange as that may sound. But like I say, as long as you're pushing those sets hard and you're making the most out of every single workout, then you will get gains. Number 9, not training forearms earlier. These last 2 points on this list aren't as important as the other ones that I have had on here. However, these are still things that I wish I would have done earlier. I only started to do forearm specific exercises over the last few months. And since then, I've noticed on what I have been missing out on. Not only will your grip strength improve, and if you're someone that's into calisthenics, for example, then forearms you should 100% be training. But also quite simply, I mean, who doesn't want to have thicker arms? Number 10, not implementing set intensifiers earlier. By this, I'm particularly talking about drop sets, rest pause sets, and assisted reps. The reason this is at number 10 is because these aren't essential and you don't need to be implementing these stuff to still see great results. However, I have noticed that these are great ways how you can make your workouts just that little bit more intense. If you are able to push yourself a little bit past failure on just even a couple of working sets throughout your workout, then I definitely think that there is some sort of muscle building benefit to this. Like I say, however, this one's probably not essential. However, I would definitely recommend experimenting with these and you'll see for yourself that these can definitely be beneficial. And number 11, just as like a little side bonus one, doing your cardio earlier. If you're someone like me who is on a bulk, then my initial thoughts were always that, why would you have to do cardio if you're on a bulk? Because ultimately by doing cardio, you are burning calories. However, what I found since doing cardio is, probably the biggest one for me personally is you just have a much better appetite. I know that after a workout, sometimes I might not even feel that hungry after it. However, if I do even 15 minutes of cardio after each workout, then my appetite grows so much more and it allows me to compensate for those calories that I've burnt, because I'll be more hungry and I'll want to eat more right after. And as a result, that will help you to ultimately stay in that calorie surplus. And of course, there's numerous other benefits, all of the cardiovascular benefits. And even if you are, for example, like I was talking about the set intensifiers, doing drop sets and assisted reps and stuff like that, they can take quite a lot of your breath out of you, if that makes sense. And so if you are doing all of this cardio, then I feel like you'll just be a little bit better prepared to be able to do those. And those are all of the main mistakes that I would say that I have learned from so far. Keep this in mind. I am not perfect. I'll keep making mistakes. I am only 3 years into my lifting journey, but these are simply things that I wish that I would have done earlier personally. And I feel like a lot of you out there who are also maybe just starting right now, that these could be beneficial to you also, to not make the same mistakes that I did, and ultimately you'll be able to progress even quicker than I did. Thank you everyone for watching. That's all for today. If you did enjoy this video or find it anyhow useful, then consider subscribing to the channel. I make daily workout videos on here, and I'll be making much more different type of content similar to this one. So if you did find this useful, subscribe, leave a like, and I'll see you for the next one.